Good afternoon. I always open with that. I wonder sometimes if it's always afternoon when you're listening. Sometimes it might be night. Good evening.
Or good morning.
Yeah, it's fucking morning here.
Good
again.
Good morning. Good morning. Anyway.
What the fuck?
Welcome back to Books and Bullshit. It is the podcast where the topics are made up and your opinions don't matter. We used to have another part of this little intro thing, but Martina quit on me. Zachary Chopchinsky here, the Bowtie author. Look me up before I'm famous. And I'm here.
You've got time.
Wow. I'm here with Martina McAtee. Obviously, all sassy, no classy.
Truth.
And we're here today to talk about some bullshit. That's how we roll.
I'm gonna Little John this whole fucking podcast.
Oh, you.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, Martina? Yeah. Oh, shit. Carry this motherfucker.
Let's see how you like it.
I do not Lil John the fucking podcasts all the time.
All the time. Alright. I just had to pull that up just so we have it at the ready.
Yeah, Martina wasn't feeling the threesome.
I just wasn't. I'm like, I don't want a threesome. I just want two people getting into it.
They don't know what you're talking about.
That's alright. That makes it even better. Only on the podcast. In real life, it does not make it better if somebody doesn't know what they're getting into. Consent is important. You can't surprise threesome people. It never works out the way you think it will.
And surprise random butt sex is not a thing either.
Yeah, no. That's just rape.
Always ask for permission or you're going to ruin your date. If you surprise them with butt sex, you're going to have a bad time.
And you can literally ruin your date. Like the actual date, the person. Can't just, surprise!
I'm glad we're not talking about, like, the fruit. You can literally ruin your dates.
Dates aren't big enough, I think, for ruining. I don't think you could ever really just...
What if they were putting dates in the butthole? Like, what if that was the surprise?
I don't recommend that. I think, like, with the whole pesticide thing, and then, like, I don't know really the outside of a date, if that's appropriate.
Do you eat the outside of the date or the inside?
I don't eat dates at all. I find them revolting, but...
Is dates where you get plums? Or not plums. What's the...
Plums are different than dates.
No, what's the ones? Prunes.
No. Aren't plums non-dead prunes? I mean, like grapes. Raisins are just desiccated grapes. I'm fairly certain that prunes are desiccated plums.
Huh. The more you know.
Are you tuning in for this? Are you riveted by our fucking talks of plums and dates in people's asses? Oh, Zach got gassed. And my dog just sleeping so angelically in the corner, like the precious little angel he is.
You nasty motherfucker.
He's so content.
He's dying on the inside.
Yeah, aren't we all? Let's talk about my existential crisis.
Right. All right. So let's get into what the subject of our podcast is today, which is...
Gay porn. No.
Gotcha, bitch!
Just kidding.
It is character-driven versus story-driven stories. Plot-driven.
Character-driven versus story-driven stories. Do you guys like story-driven stories, or do you just like random snippets of information squashed together?
I get it. We've all read E.L. James.
So many thumbs.
Can I borrow that for a second? Whoop.
You don't know BDSM till somebody's used your own thumb up your ass.
And then they're leaving the room. You got your thumb up your own ass. And you're like, wait, what the fuck just happened?
Quit laying around with your thumb up your ass.
That's where that comes from. No.
That's a true story. That's where phrase comes from.
Character-driven versus plot-driven.
Would you like to explain what the difference is between character-driven and plot-driven?
Are you actually wanting me to explain, or are you testing to see if I know the fucking difference?
No, I just want you to fucking do it because I'm still working over here.
Oh, god damn it, Martina. Alright, so...
Because he doesn't know the difference!
So, my personal favorite from the two, out the gate, I'll describe it first, is character-driven. So, I'm a big believer, philosophically, in character-driven stories because you kind of affect the world around you. was it James Joyce that says, I don't want to be a product of my environment. I want my environment to be a product of me. And 9 times out of 10 it is. You choose your friends, you choose your decisions, you choose your life for the most part. And so I really liked character-driven stories because you get a strong character, you can align yourself with them, and as the story develops, you develop with it. Now, the other one is plot-driven, which essentially is you're drugged through all of this, and it's the story that's carrying it, and you're going to meet characters along the way. Plot-driven will often be times like George R.R. Martin, for example, that tends to kill a lot of his characters and so on. That's more of a plot-driven because you're not going to have time to get attached to a character in those fucking
especially not in those books.
He's going to kill him. And that's
all
the
your
point,
friends are dead.
is the focal point is not necessarily the characters. I mean, there are characters that are going to be focused on, but it's more so the story. And in that, in some instances, characters can be intermittently changed out and the story will still continue.
Well, I think a good example of like a character-driven story is like we were talking about Supernatural, because it's gotten to a point now where, I mean, plot doesn't even matter. People just tune in because they love the characters so much, and they want to watch the characters experience whatever gets thrown at them. And another perfect example: American Horror Story.
Oh yes.
Every fucking season is a new like storyline. And
I would say that one's almost more plot-driven, to be honest, because each one is its own story and it's its own unique aspect.
Yet Ryan Murphy loses the plot halfway through every fucking season, and everybody keeps tuning in.
That's true. And for Sarah Paulson.
Yes, exactly. And sometimes Colton Haynes banging guys with white blonde hair. I don't know. Or maybe that's just me.
He's pretty much the swinging dick in every season for the most part.
As he should be. Have you fucking seen Colton Haynes? He's beautiful. He's a precious gift to this world.
What was the most recent one?
Coven.
Yeah.
No, what was the Coven? It was called Coven. It was the... What the fuck is it called now?
It wasn't Coven.
No, it was like Coven and the original one come together, Murder House come together, and it is called...
Oh, no, not that one. I haven't seen that one. The one before that then, where it was like...
Cult?
Political...
Cult. Isn't that what it was called?
Cult, yes, thank you, it was. Cult. I thought you were saying cult.
You're like fucking staring at me, and I'm like, maybe I'm wrong.
I thought you were saying cult, like C-O-L-T. I'm like, I don't know if that was his character name. Fuck,
No.
Martina. No,
Cult.
cult. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't know I had to spell it for you.
He was a difficult character in that one.
I find that the first 4 episodes, I am absolutely riveted. I think they're great. By episode 5, I'm like, I'm not sure what's happening anymore. And by episode 7, I'm like, I don't even fucking care. Just show me somebody fucking somebody else. I don't know. Just do something.
And there was a hardcore, like, you don't know it until you find out who the characters were later on. Those 2 clowns fucking in the grocery store were 2 dudes just getting added on the produce.
Listen, I gotta say, you want to talk about diversity, it doesn't get more diverse than American Horror Story. Could be because Ryan Murphy himself is gay. Or it could be because, there's nothing like the shock value of, like, 2 clowns fucking and finding out that it's 2
That's
dudes.
true.
I don't know.
And
Just 2 clowns fucking is pretty shocking, no matter what they're fucking.
Solid beard dichotomy in that season, too.
Yeah. See, it always comes back to gay porn for me. Sorry, guys.
There was a lot of gay porn in that season, though.
Yeah.
And like the babysitter, it starts like, pulling a, DJ Diddles on Sarah Paulson in the bathtub.
Maybe Ryan Murphy's real message is that everybody's a little gay.
In that season, everybody was a
if
little
you
gay.
look, he's done Glee. Everybody was a little gay. American Horror Story. Everybody's a little gay. Also, American Crime Story. Maybe not in season 1, but in season 2, the Gianni Versace. Everybody
his
was a
last
little
name?
gay. Ryan Murphy?
Murphy? Honey, Murphy's not a Roman name, is it?
No. It's fucking Irish as fuck.
Well, the Romans didn't really have a concept of gay. They were just fucking everything.
And you know what? They were happy. They were so happy.
The Romans had a thing called a punchline is a puke room.
Vomitorium.
A vomitorium.
Yes, vomitorium.
Where they would just eat all these luxurious meals. Oh, I don't want to stop because there's still 6 hours of this party. Go, puke, come back, and keep fucking eating.
I believe that is called a puke and rally.
That's true.
Frat boys everywhere have been doing that for centuries.
Where do you think
hey,
they got that from?
And frat boys everywhere have been secretly fucking each other for centuries as well. So,
And frat boys are
secretly Romans.
Well, I mean,
the Greek. Well, they're Greeks. Greek fraternity.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's really in those secret charters. By the way, here's this fine print. You also have to occasionally be down to fuck. each other.
Or at least, like, a no-homo hand job in a Volvo behind a tree in the 1950s.
Or you can watch
show.
straight porn and jerk each other off, and it's not gay.
It's called a jerkle circle.
I know what it's called. Bitch, you think I don't know what this is
I'm
called?
just saying. What was that show that you had us watching where the dude's like, he was just a friend, and I just gave him a hand job.
Oh, you mean the documentary?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, yeah. Abducted in plain sight.
That dude was like, I'm gonna seduce the wife. All right, now I'm gonna get hand jobs from the straight husband, and the husband was like, yeah, I was giving him hand jobs.
He's like, he was saying that he was really frustrated, and he was just like, maybe you could, I really just need to get off. You think you could help me out? I mean, I'm sorry, but that's how every porn starts. Like, hey man, it's not really gay if we just, don't look at each other. It's not gay. Like, that's a little gay. Two dicks.
Is your dick in a dude's ass? Because that's a little gay. It's just a little bit. Just the tip.
Hang on, I'm sorry.
So, anyways, that's where we're at with that.
So,
tune in next time.
Yeah, so tune in next time where we talk more about lesbian sex. I don't know. Everything's about sex with us.
So, I guess we can talk about some of our more favorite, character-driven storylines in general, and I say storylines because that could be television, film, video games, books. I know we're big on the books and so on, but a lot of those things are derivative from books.
Zach always goes to the video games, the stuff he knows.
Well, video games actually don't really qualify. You don't get too many character-driven video games because you are the character. So most of them are written
my daughter sobs like a fucking baby anytime she gets into these Walking Dead games, because as soon as it starts, it's this 20-minute movie where it's like, oh, isn't this so sweet? Oh, she really loves her dad. Oh, there goes dad. Oh, yes, that is a 7-year-old sobbing hysterically over her dead father's body. Let's get into the zombies, shall we? It's like, my kid's like, it's so sad. I'm like, so, yeah, don't even get me started. It's very character-driven.
I don't think so. Because, you're the character. I think because you're playing as that person, you can't be driven. You are physically driving it forward, but it's the story interacting around you. So I don't think video games really count as far as character-driven.
I think you're fucking dead wrong.
My
daughter has that. There's a video game out about AI where the robots are like servants or whatever, and one escapes to be with her girlfriend or whatever, and there's another AI that's only been taught to just hunt down other AIs. I can't fucking remember the name of it. She's gonna kill me. She's obsessed. She watches videos about the characters. She knows the characters who play the video game characters. They're married to each other. She follows them both on Instagram. She is hooked on these characters. So while yes, maybe this is just a difference between guys and girls too. Though no, that's not true, because fucking PewDiePie and fucking come on, Markiplier will both fucking cry over fucking video games. They will both cry about video game entries, about fucking people who die in the video games. I've seen it happen.
But that's the story. They die in the story.
Right, but everybody fucking dies in a story, whether it's plot or character-driven.
The point of a video game is that you are playing it, so you are the character.
What's the difference between a video game and a first-person point of view?
Yeah, a first-person story. You are the person.
You are the character.
Because I've always viewed video games as I am the character. So in books, you're reading of a character, but in video games...
Right, but in first person where it is I am the character.
But in video games, and it might also be, frankly, because I also generally tend to play open world video games, so I'm not driven by... I just do whatever the fuck I want.
What he's saying is he is a soulless monster who doesn't care at all about the characters.
I just think that a lot of video games, depending upon the style, of course, are story driven. You are interacting with the story, things are happening. We speak about it a lot, but Resident Evil, that's story driven. You are Leon Kennedy in the first ones, or actually no, you're Chris Redfield. No, you're Leon. And now you come into this thing, and now you're interacting with it. You have to. I think it really just depends on it. But
you don't think Heavy Rain was character driven?
Huh?
Heavy Rain, where he's literally searching for his missing son. You don't think that's character driven?
I'm not
The
familiar,
whole
I'm not familiar with Heavy Rain.
holy shit, fucking great video game. You should totally play Heavy Rain.
Yeah, I'm actually not familiar with that one.
Yeah, so in Heavy Rain, he is like, he's searching for his son, and the person who has him is basically making him do more and more crazy things. Like in one scene, he has to decide whether he's going to chop off his hand or not, like that kind of stuff. It's kind of like Saw meets like a suspense, and yeah. That's where the press X to Jason comes from, because his son goes missing, and you have to press the X button for him to call for Jason. So, yes, that's where that press X to Jason came from, which you might not know anything about. But,
Nope.
But yeah, so Heavy Rain is extraordinarily, like, character-driven, because the whole point is this guy is doing increasingly insane things to get his kid, to find his kid and get the kid back. So, I mean, also, Fable. Like, Fable, you could just fuck off and do side quests forever. Like, you don't have to follow the fucking story, the plot at all.
That's true, but again, you're right. That would be an instant where it's character driven because it is you and you're driving that fact. I'll give you that. I'll give you Fable. I really think
like you can get married, you can like fucking have kids, you just fuck off and never do the fucking quest at all.
True, but I still think that a majority of video games, when they're linear plot line, when they're not open world, they are story driven.
But you just said you play primarily open world, and that's why it's plot driven.
He's backpedaling.
No, I look at because I Fallout 4. I can do whatever the hell I want, but it's all around one basic story. I'm searching for my son, and it's driven toward me trying to find my son.
That sounds character driven.
No, that's linear. That's story driven. The story is I have to find my son, and I'm learning about this world as I'm trying to find my son. It's linear. That's just how I view it.
It's not a matter of how you view something.
You know, the whole point of me basically discrediting video games is so I could focus on books and other medium, and then you guys are like, no, we're going to talk about video games.
Well, because we're trying to stay in your wheelhouse, because you fucking don't read anymore.
That's true.
Yeah, huh?
But I can still throw down with books. I know things.
Okay, so I'm going to Google here. A character-driven story is one focused on studying the characters that make up your story. Whereas a plot-driven story focuses on a set of choices that a character must make, a character-driven story focuses on how the character arrives at a particular choice. So I would think that in video games, they would be character-driven because characters are always given a choice.
Not necessarily. Not in a lot of linear games. You have to go forward. Like, for example, go to Resident Evil. It's not, I can go this way or do this, or I can go that way and do that. Eventually, I have to clear this house. And then once I do these 3 things that I have to do, I have to unlock these switches, then this door opens, then I go to the next space. And I have to do those things to then get to the next space. It's story-driven because it's pushing me. I don't have... Open world video games, like I said, I can see how it can be both. But in a lot of linear-type video games that aren't open world, you are told where you go and what you do. It is designed that way to push you in one direction. That's why a lot of those video games, you can't go back. That's story-driven, in my opinion.
Okay, so can we at least agree that anything that gives you multiple options, where you as a person have to make the decision, it's character-driven? Because you can choose to be a dick, you can choose to be good, and your choices moving forward will make a difference in how your character behaves and the things that happen to them.
There was one that Markiplier did that was like, it was about the butterfly effect. Remember that one?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
That one is probably the most character-driven game I've ever seen in my life. I'll give you that.
But in Heavy Rain, there was a lot of choices that you had to make too. But Fable, Fable, you can make 100 different choices. Like
the game that you're playing right now
Fallout Boy,
Fallout
4 is what I meant to say.
Now,
Fallout Boy.
Fable, I'll give you Fable, but not the first one. The first one was...
I don't remember which one I said.
You just said Fable in general. There's Fable 1, 2, and 3. And then there's Fable like The Lost Chronicles or something like that. But
I don't know. I only watched Mick play like
the first one was supposed to be more open, but they cut a lot of that out because of production. And it's still like the guy that was part of the original Fable production still gets a lot of shit for it. The second and third one opens more up, but the first one was very linear. Like you didn't have a lot of those options, and actually pissed a lot of gamers off because they were promising that shit all day long until it was released.
Right. Well, I've only seen Michaela play like, I don't know, it's like Fable 2 or Fable 3.
If they're getting married and having kids and so on, that's Fable 3.
Yeah. No, it's the one where they have like unlimited options. Like they can be, like they can change their characters' looks. They can change
You can do a lot of that, but Fable 3 is definitely the most interactive of that one. You can't have kids and shit like that in Fable 2.
I like that you're pompously stroking your beard while you...
So, you get into my wheelhouse. I can talk about some games. And it's sad because
The truth is, no matter what I say, Zach's going to try to one up me because he plays video games more than I watch video games because I can't play them, as we previously have discussed.
Hey, I'm trying to get us back onto books, and you won't let this shit go.
It is officially let go. Let's talk some books, Zach.
Okay, Elsa, what do you want to talk about with books?
I don't know. Pick any book written in the last 2 years and tell me which you think is plot or character driven and which you prefer. Oh wait, you can't because you haven't read
Yes, I
it.
can. Yes, I can. I can tell you very much right now.
Okay, good. Pick one.
I have 4. Okay, so Webley and the World Machine.
Oh, weird. Zach manages to talk about himself.
You
What?
say they couldn't
What?
be one of my fucking books, and all of my books are character driven because I like that. I prefer character driven books. I mentioned talk about it many times. One of my favorites, The Hobbit.
Yeah, I bet you didn't read it in the last year.
Actually, I've read that. I read The Hobbit a lot.
Not in the last year.
Yeah,
Not
no.
since I've known you in the last 13 years.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
When have you read it?
I've
When
read
was
The Hobbit a
last
lot.
time you
I've read The Hobbit. I used to read The Hobbit and shit like that at night when I worked overnights. I've read that book. I've read that book recently. I used to also when we flew to California, went to San Diego the first time. I read that on the plane. I bought
That
that.
was
I
like-
bought that at the airport.
That was like 6 years ago.
Okay, that's within 13 years. Next. And I don't read a lot of books because I don't have time. Because work keeps giving me books to read.
You can't tell everybody about a book you have to read at work right now.
Okay. It's called the 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. We discussed
the
that.
highly effective people.
I haven't even started reading it yet.
It's such an old book, but it's like the
Well,
go-to for every
they-
fucking manager.
And they keep rehashing it, and it actually has the first 30 pages are forewords. And the funny thing is, it's the foreword from the first book, and then the second foreword referencing the first foreword. There's 3 of them. And it's just so asinine and stupid. And then the one before that, I can't remember the name of it. It's Your Ship, which was actually really,
It's your ship.
It was about
I love talking about ships. Let's talk about ships.
Yeah.
Who do you ship?
It was about a naval captain who took over a ship and basically he challenged a lot of the ways that the Navy did their processes because it was very I tell you to follow orders and you follow orders, but he questioned it a lot and he was all about empowering his people, and that was more one of those books that you give to management, like to empower your people to make those decisions so you can rely on those under you to make sure that everybody is successful.
I think I actually had to do they did like a short version of that when I had to take that nurse leadership class, because they made us do the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. They made us do like the fish theory, which is like the Pike Place Market in Seattle, that like how they structure their businesses to like be entertaining but also, you know, have these certain skills or whatever. And like, so they have so many fucking books about leadership. There's a million different ways you can be a quote unquote leader. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah.
Let's.
But yeah, the sad part is the most recent books that I've read.
And those are definitely plot driven.
Oh yeah, they are.
About building characters.
Yeah, fucking right. And I hate them. But that's because like from us like working our muggle jobs, which are very demanding, trying to write and manage a business, and now work keeps giving me that shit. There's literally no time for me to casually read any fucking thing because work that pays me is like. And the messed up thing about it is with these books, work's like okay, so and I kid you not, guys. We will have to read the book, and then we're each assigned multiple chapters throughout the book, and then once a week we present a chapter to all the other 20 managers in the building, and we discuss the chapter, we have talking points, we have to do handouts and all that stuff, and it's like there's no time for casual reading. Reading is being taken from me by force.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't have time to read anything but porn anyway, but that's because that's my alter ego, and I have to be up to date on I have to be up to date on what's going on, what's up. So, but yeah, I'm also simultaneously attempting to write 3 books at one time, which is just absolutely.
3?
Yeah,
the
I've got Resting Witch Face, I've got book 4, and I've got the romance that I'm working on. So, I have to keep changing hats. I'm curious to see how gay all of it ends up. Because I'm just like, there's just gonna be some random fucking gay ass chapter, and they're gonna be like, "Is this in the right book? Is this in the right book? Ah, crap!
Resting Witch Face is gonna be random fisting
Just
scene,
dicks
like,
in your
"Oh,
face, resting dick face,
no." Dick resting
just
on
balls in my face." I would say my books are definitely character driven, but that was deliberate. I said to write a series where the people love my characters so much that they would literally just read about them eating breakfast. And that's what I wanted. Because I am obsessed with fan fiction, and it actually goes into that. Like, and I think that that's how you can kind of almost tell the difference between a plot-driven story and a character-driven story, is when people are so in love with the characters of a show or books enough to where they break off and create their own fiction and their own stories about those characters, off of the things that the writer themselves has already created. They then take it and they're like, I want the fluff stuff that they always cut out of books and they always cut out of, like, movies and television shows, because it's like, okay, that's not plot, driven necessarily. Like, that's great and all, but, like, we need to get on with, like, whatever's got to happen next to drive the plot forward. So maybe they create character-driven stuff out of plot-driven stuff, because if the editors will always tell you, that's not necessary for the chapter. That's not necessary for the chapter. Like, you got to get rid of that. But I wanted to, like, kind of almost build in my own fan fiction into my book. So there is sometimes, like, little pieces of, like, fluffy stuff that people like, but I try to still keep things moving or it'll be boring as fuck. But it's definitely more plot driven than character driven than plot driven.
And I think it's like for example, when you are referencing yourself and other people, so like Martina and I, or Martina and me, the rule of when you're using the correct one is if you take the other person out, if you just use what you use to reference yourself in the sentence, does it make sense?
What does that have to do with what you just said?
I'm getting there. So I think I think you're absolutely on a good point there, where if you...
I was like, is he correcting my grammar right now? Because I'm about to punch him in the fucking face.
If you take your characters out of the story,
yeah,
would the story continue on without them? Or if you just grab your characters out and threw them into whatever else, would that still drive it? People still want to be part of that and part of those characters.
I think really without my characters, the books wouldn't matter. I think very much the only reason the plot of book 1 worked is because I worked so hard to make them care about one particular character, and then I ripped it away. Thanks for ruining my very specific moment, Zach.
Carry on.
If you lost in a boat, you sink it like a stone. Carry on.
Oh, Charlie, did she leave without you?
I spilled my Coke.
Yeah, he just dropped it on the floor. Just bombed my poor dog with soda. Oh, what happened?
With soda pop.
Come here. Did he soak you in soda?
I did not. No.
Are you Coke flavored?
Are you Coke flavored there, Courtney Love?
Oh, Courtney Love. God, I saw her in an episode of Empire, and I was like, hot damn, that's an ad for why you shouldn't do drugs.
Fucking right.
Oh, man.
Oh, Layla's not leaving the room again. I was going to put on the headphones.
I mean...
Can I put on the headphones? No. Can I put on the headphones? No. Aww. But I wanna. No.
Oh, you're such a fucking child.
So, do you, now that's what we naturally, like, we organically go to, but sometimes, like myself, if I am, that rare occasion where I am sitting down and reading a book, I usually don't read or delve into my own genre. It's just not my thing.
Chunk, come on, you got this.
When you're reading, Martina, do you prefer character-driven or story-driven as a consumer?
Yes. Well, it depends on the genre I'm reading. If I'm reading romance, obviously it's got to be character-driven. I don't give a fuck about the plot. I just want to watch two people fall in love.
Especially with erotica.
Well, with erotica, you care about the sex.
That's plot driven.
That's yeah. With erotica, it's entirely different. The sex is first, the romance is secondary or non-existent. With romance, the romance is first, the sex is secondary or non-existent, depending on the type of romance you like to read. So he's completely checked out. So I'll just talk to you, Layla.
I'm listening. I'm also playing. I'm playing with a chunk.
But if I'm reading a suspense book, then I want plot driven. I need you to keep the fucking story moving. I don't necessarily get like invested in the characters or the person solving the mystery unless it's again like a series or they really do their job of setting up like the plot to a point where somebody's in danger that you're sincerely worried about. If it's a murder, they're already dead, and I only sort of half invest in anybody in like a standalone book. That's just who I am as a person. Like if they die, they die. But
all right, Dolph Lundgren.
If he dies, he dies. That was a great fucking line. But if it's like, say, kidnapping and there's like a kid in danger, like a Criminal Minds episode, sometimes you're just like, oh, they're already dead, whatever, and you just kind of follow the story. But other times it's like they're like selling some kid on the black market and you're watching a clock tick down in the corner and you're like, oh my fucking God, like this poor baby, like find this kid. And then you're more invested, But with a mystery, I just like a good plot twist. I don't really care necessarily about the characters. I want a writer to surprise me because nothing surprises me anymore. So like when I do find somebody and it's like, you fucking bitch, I didn't see that coming. Okay, I see you.
I'm like that with horror now. Like no matter what the medium is, like there's a horror really takes a lot to get a rise out of me in horror now.
Yeah, horror. I really don't. I never invested a character with horror because it's horror, nobody's safe, essentially.
Well, in modern times horror, yes, because the old trope is, the eloquent virgin was usually a pretty safe bet, and that's usually who you generally tended to follow through the event. But
that's more in horror like movies, because I read tons of horror growing up. There were no virgins. There was just like usually one gristled fucking guy who gets like a weird note from another guy who like, oh, by the way, I fucking took all your kids, or there's like baby sacrifices or weird shit. But it was usually an adult male who was at the center of horror books when I was growing up. Never fucking women. Never fucking women.
Was he never fucking women?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he never fucked a woman and that's why he couldn't write one efficiently. I don't know.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. So I think that's a good point. I think it really just depends on the style. Whichever one kind of translates better.
You got a chunk.
I have a chunk.
I have a skinny mini. You got a chunk.
I like the chunk. I like the skinny mini.
I was gonna say, the skinny mini's your dog. Like, what the fuck? He's like, oh, hello.
I love you now. I remember this.
He's like, I love you in this room. I'm terrified of you outside of this room.
Right?
It's like we're pumping Xanax in the air in here.
Maybe we are.
Maybe we are.
Maybe that's how we get this shit going. So,
I got my knees. Sorry. Oh. Speaking of porn.
Sorry.
Martina, what are you doing?
Yep. I don't know. It's funny, looking at the two, because I can't imagine a circumstance where I would generally write plot-driven. I just like strong characters. Now, I agree, if it's something that I'm looking at, like, dependent upon it, I understand that which one kind of depends. It's kind of like use first person, or third person. It really depends on how you're trying to deliver that. But with just me, as I'm creating anything, it's always going to be character-driven. That's how I ended up with my second book, or my third book, I'm sorry, because with a running character, Ypsilon, because I wrote her as just a B character, just kind of helping drive the plot, essentially, in the second book, and people are like, wait, we fucking love her. Like, well, damn it.
That's so many of my characters that were supposed to... Aaron was supposed to be a one-and-done character. I was not ever going to bring him back. Fucking Silas was supposed to be long dead by now. And people just fucking are like, well, no, we want more of that. We hate that guy. We want you to write more of that guy that we hate, So, I mean, sometimes you just got to give people what they fucking want. We want to make that sweet, sweet money. No, just kidding. There's no money. We're so poor.
Please subscribe to our Patreon.
Or buy our books.
Oh, on that note of the Patreon, okay, #minute for a shameless plug. We now have 2 new tiers on our Patreon now. So you have the first tier, which is $1, which gets you the basic access to the sound checks that we do. Which are, 10 to 15 minute extra little just bullshit conversations,
no.
Martina.
They're like 3 to 7 minutes.
I thought lately they've been getting a little longer.
Some of them are a little longer. But...
Okay, so we'll
don't set them up for false expectations.
We'll say 5 plus or minus minutes, right? On average. Some of them do range up to 10, 15 minutes, but that's $1, and that gets you that. As Martina and I just talk about those random shit while Layla literally sets up our sound equipment, make sure everything looks good, because it seems like every time we plug all this shit in, we gotta redo all that. The next level, which is $5 a month, gets you access to our new kind of story that we're doing, where you guys submit stories to us. Submit our fucked up, weird, funny, whatever stories. that you want to us, and Martina and I will read them. And that new bit is called
You won't believe
this shit. And basically, it's gonna be Martina and I reading it. Now, I say this: submit whatever you want, but please understand of the context of our show, and we're gonna like laugh and carry on and poke at stuff.
And we're awkward with feelings, which is
Yes.
ironic considering we're writers.
I nervous laugh, and my defense mechanism is humor. So if you want to get like your dog died off your chest and feel better about it, I'm probably going to crack inappropriate jokes. That's how I am. You've now been warned. Also, we had the first ones that were submitted to us were very smart. If it's something like it's a fucked up story, but girl, you got to spill the tea and you want people to know about it.
Yeah.
When you're writing it, either keep names out or tell us not to include the names as we're writing it. But really just either put fake names in there or don't put names in at that point, because don't make me have to stutter through this shit when I'm like, and then Samantha, Christine.
And then name redacted.
Yeah. Don't make me have to do that, because I'm not gonna. If you say don't say names and write
We'll
names
call
in
her
there,
Molly.
Yeah.
And then we get to talk shit about somebody named Molly.
So that's the next tier. Then the third tier,
Sorry,
which
Molly.
is now $10 a month, gets you access to video content. So this morning we made multiple clips of me reading just horribly graphic pornography.
Fan fiction.
Fan fiction specifically. What's it?
We got some Potterotica. And we got a little bit of steric going on in there. A little bit of nodding kink.
Just weird shit that you get to watch me do and figure out what the fuck I'm trying to do with my
He's
hands.
not nodding anybody. He's just reading.
Don't pay no attention to the fact that we have 3 dogs.
And please, for the love of God, don't look at his crotch.
Yeah, you might want to check those videos out. But that's $10 a month, and you also as you go up in tiers, you get everything below it, obviously.
Sorry, guys, you don't get that. You don't get the sound checks. You just get porn.
Right. And then also, I think it's for the $5 and up right curtains, they get a sweet sticker with sirloin on it that we just have brought in as well. So we'll get you one
Thanks,
of those.
Rebecca.
Yeah, and we will. You can kind of pimp us out and also put Judgy Mr. Sirloin on all your shit. So anyway, I just wanted to plug that one a little bit. Go check out our Patreon. Keep doing what we're doing. Your guys' Patreon money actually is what gave Martina a tank of gas to drive the 3 hours up here to see us this weekend. So keep that shit up.
Thanks,
if you
guys.
like this. And keep in mind that Patreon actually goes to support us with sound equipment and other things for the general podcast. So even if you only want to do $1 just to help us out or whatever, that's perfectly fine. But that goes to actually getting equipment and tools and travel and stuff that we need, because Martina lives like 3 hours from us.
Hence the reason I drove 3 hours to get here.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So character-driven, plot-driven, go.
Now that you're done with your shameless fucking plug.
Oh, totally.
Couldn't we have done that at the end?
No, because I was on subject and it was shameless but felt seamless.
He just ran out of things to say about character-driven versus plot-driven.
So many things.
He's tap dancing as fast as he can.
Ha-cha-cha-cha. Okay, I'm done talking. Give me money.
I did the thing. Where my $1?
I want my $1 now, please and thank you.
I want my $2.
I got $1. I got $1. I got $1.
Your fucking Ewok is like staring at me with the most sinister fucking expression on its face.
That's wicked.
But he looks fucking angry. He's like, hee.
That's Wicket. Do you know who played Wicket?
Yes, Warwick Davis.
Yes, it was Warwick Davis.
I'm way older than you. I know almost every movie Warwick Davis was in.
Oh yeah. Oh, do you remember Willow?
I fucking love Willow. That was Val Kilmer in his prime.
Mad Mardigan.
Oh, God, he was hot. Fuck. He is so beautiful. I don't know what happened, but he looks like he hit a brick wall and slid down it.
Onto some cheeseburgers.
Damn. Like, sorry, Val. I mean, I don't know why I'm talking shit about you. I definitely don't look like I fucking belong on any calendars either.
I'm sorry, but Val Kilmer's prime, no matter who you are.
Oh, straight up Top Gun volleyball scene.
No, I was gonna say Doc Holliday in Tombstone.
No, he was he was a great character.
Yeah.
But Val Kilmer shirtless on a volleyball court.
With
Sorry.
like Tom Cruise and every other
Fuck
one.
Tom Cruise, a shirtless.
But I'm saying like that's probably the most homoerotic heterosexual scene I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I was really young when that movie came out, and I remember I was mad because my mom brought home 2 VCR tapes. This is how fucking old I am. She brought home The Money Pit with Tom Hanks, and she brought home Top Gun. And I was like, I want to watch The Money Pit. I don't care about some stupid movie with planes. And my dad was like, I want to watch Top Gun. So, of course, we fucking watched Top Gun. But then I was like, we got to that volleyball scene, and I was like, maybe planes aren't so bad. It's just like,
I'm into this.
I don't know what's happening here, but like all of a sudden, those dudes look real good without their shirts on.
There's some poor girl off on the sides rubbing baby oil on the actors between
Poor
takes.
girl? Poor girl? No, that was the best fucking day of that girl's life. She had a fucking grin on her face from the moment she fucking skipped onto that set to the day she fucking left. Now, if it was a dude, he might have had a fucking smile on his face too. It's Hollywood.
Tina, come on. And that was a
fucking Hollywood.
pretty gay scene.
That was such a gay scene. Like, gay men everywhere were like, fuck, that's gay. Like, damn. Of course, some people claim Tom Cruise is hella gay, so there's probably some gay guys out there going, oh no, it's definitely gay.
I really don't like Tom Cruise. Like,
I fucking hate Tom Cruise, and I hope he's not gay. He's not good enough to be gay. Nobody wants him, except the fucking Scientologists. They hate gay people. Yes, it's a true story. Scientologists hate gays. Just so you know.
They also hate pores.
They hate everybody. Everybody who's not a Scientologist.
And even their own ranks if you ask too many questions.
Yeah. Then they will make you a suppressive person.
Sean the non-believer.
Sean. Man, we are on a fucking tear today. I don't even know how we got here. Where are we? We're in Gayville again. God damn it.
We've been in Gayville this whole time. We just keep we
just keep veering back to the gay.
We're like going up like Homo Avenue. We took a right on Docking Street. I mean, we're getting ready to pull into the Felching Plaza.
He knows all this stuff now because I've been making him read fan fiction. Oh God. You know, it's funny though because in the beginning of Teen Wolf, since you read that Teen Wolf fan fiction, in the very beginning opening scene, there's like a scene of Tyler Hoechlin, and he's sort of like just like raising up his arms, and he's shirtless, and he's covered in this white powder. And then there's this behind the scenes picture, and it's this like girl who's probably anywhere from 30 to 40. She's blonde hair. She's got her hair pulled back up, and she's just powdering a half naked Tyler Hoechlin, and she's just like, it's the best fucking day ever. She's just powdering him off, and he's just like standing there, just with fucking 18-pack abs, just being him. By the way, he's the nicest, most just insanely friendly person in the entire world, and you never realize how good an actor he is until you've actually seen him talk as a human being, because he plays this really sullen, grumpy, never smiles character, and then you meet him in real life, and he is so sweet and so nice. He burst in on an actress in the makeup chair and thought it was his friend, and he kissed her cheek, and then he realized it was the new girl who had just started and not his friend, and he was so mortified that he apologized like 9 times for kissing her without her consent, and then like left and didn't even want to talk to her because he was so embarrassed that that's how he presented himself at first. He's so sweet. And now he's Superman. And he should be. He's got the best ass on fucking television. Just so you know. Remember how we talked about fucking Papa Winchester having no ass? His ass went to Tyler Hoechlin. Bubble fucking butt. Like, perfect ass. 10 out of 10. Maybe even a 12 out of 10. That's all I got to say about that.
Some extra credit in there for firmness.
No, I'm going to prove it.
Oh,
hey,
God.
I showed you Papa Winchester's no ass.
That's true. You did. But that's just like I saw a really funny image the other day on the internet, and it was outside of a bar, and there was a sign. It was annual meeting of celebrities nobody hates, and then the next skit was Keanu Reeves, Tom Hanks, and Terry Crews sitting around a bar table, and a picture of Robin Williams on the wall behind them.
It's true. They all have meetings.
God damn.
Right?
That's very
The
round.
perfect bubble butt. Like, just
You
boom.
can put a cup on that.
God gave with both hands, literally.
Very full hands.
Very, very full hands. You just want to slap it. See if it bounces.
See if it's like one of those things where you slap this side and this cheek goes out.
Yeah, exactly. Like a, what do they call it? A metronome?
Yeah, whatever it is.
Was it?
Pendulum?
Is that the one with the, like, the bars, the things? The, like, the little ball thingies? Yes, that. What she said.
I mean, I'm sure there would be plenty of girls that would want to bat his balls around like that, too.
From what I hear, that's not his thing. But anyway, moving on.
Old lady?
Everybody in Hollywood is gay. Anyway, we were talking about character versus plot driven.
So we're talking about that sweet ass, though.
It's just so nice.
The ass so nice that... Yum.
I think Teen Wolf is very character driven. I mean, I think that's why there's probably a ton of fan fiction about it. But also, they screwed the pooch halfway through. Jeff Davis did a lot of queer baiting, saying that he was going to make the whole hysteric thing happen. Then I have a feeling that both of their media people came in and were like, hey,
No.
yeah, we can't do that. Like, we've got plans for them after Teen Wolf, and that got shut down. But that literally lost them probably 50% of their fan base. And then they went off and they created their own world in fan fiction, which came out way better than the actual show, which got canceled after season 6. That's what happens. You can't dangle that shit in front of people and then be like, haha, just kidding.
Can't dangle it in front
You
of
can't. You can't dangle fucking gay people in front of people and then take them away.
We want our gays.
Just some fucking representation. That's all we're asking for. Jesus Christ. Stop killing off gay people. Let them be happy.
Don't kneecap them.
Fucking kneecapping lesbian. Fucking
I
asshole.
didn't kill her.
But she's not happy.
Oh, shit.
She's not.
She will be, but she's not yet.
On that note, we have to have a conversation about word usage that Layla thinks I'm not allowed to use.
I like how I'm somehow the gatekeeper.
You are. Martina is mine and Layla's gatekeeper. You guys
You're
don't
the
even...
gatekeeper.
I'm the gatekeeper. I'm the fruit fly.
My name is Goals. Are you the gatekeeper?
Are you the keymaster? No. Then die. That was the best.
Ray, next time somebody asks you if you're a god, say yes.
Was it Gozer, the Gondarian, or whatever?
Gorgon or something.
Oh, God, that was a great fucking movie. The original Ghostbusters was a great fucking movie.
It was.
All right.
Anyway, yeah. So,
I'm exhausted.
Do we have any interactions on our social media in regards to this subject?
Let's see what everybody has. Let's go to the map.
Let's go to the board. We've asked 100 readers.
So, Anthony says, character driven. It makes it unpredictable. To which they said true. Lee says, I agree with Anthony.
Thanks,
Of
fellas.
course you do. No, just kidding.
Lee's actually a huge reader. He just devours books.
Let's see. Esri says it depends on the genre. See, I feel the same way. I like plot-driven stories when it's dystopian because they give zero fucks. Well, she didn't say fuck. She said FS's. She's so fucking cute. How special the character thinks they are, but coming-of-age stories are good when character-driven. Yeah, I think it has to be character-driven with a coming-of-age story, or else who fucking cares if you come or age. Just saying. Gainer, I prefer plot-driven because I feel if the world isn't properly built to start with, then there is nothing to anchor the character to, and they're sort of meandering around with an inner monologue. Well, that's a good point as far as... I think you have to have both, at least especially in the very first book of a series. I think there has to be sufficient world building, but I think you have to care about how these people live in that world. For that, I think you have to have like a little bit of both going on in order for that to work. Especially when it comes to like epic fantasy, urban fantasy, paranormal, that sort of stuff. If your world has rules, everybody needs to know what the rules are kind of going in. Mm-hmm. Kat says, Jennifer says, character driven. I don't care about the if I don't care about the characters, I won't care about the plot. Very true. Kat says both. If it's plot driven, it's got to have amazing characters to keep me interested. I almost always love character driven stories, though.
But you know what's funny right there? If it's plot, it has to have amazing characters to keep me interested. So it's plot driven, but still I want that character driven aspect to it as well.
I mean, maybe nowadays we're just getting into a point where we need both. Like, you need to have your plot. It needs to be fucking
you can have
forward.
great characters, but if you don't have a good, like, whatever they're doing isn't interesting, it really is difficult to hold it all together because you can only have, like that entertaining breakfast conversation with your characters for so long for people like, all right, I kind of want something else to happen here.
Right. Like, if in a fan fiction where people are just eating breakfast, it's a 1,500 word max fan fiction. If it's a fan fiction that's 300,000 words, it's not just going to be 300,000 words of people eating breakfast. There has to be an actual overall story arc.
There's some eating ass in there too, probably.
Oh, tons. Usually. Hey, everybody's doing it now. There's whole BuzzFeed articles about it.
Eating ass?
Yeah, for reals. Seriously. I stumbled onto one that I was not prepared for.
What's up, Layla?
Why are you...
It was like,
Wait a minute.
I'm going to check the note box for that.
Whose ass is getting eaten here?
Here? Not me! I mean, what you and Layla do in your bedroom is none of my fucking business. You leave me out of it. But from what I understand, it's an equal opportunity assignment. I mean, I don't think that any one person has to go... I mean, everybody's got an ass. Theoretically. If you don't have an ass, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to, like, fucking call you out. But if you, unfortunately, however, lost your ass in some sort of weird, I don't know, industrial accident...
They didn't know that you're not supposed to swallow, and they ate your ass. Literally.
If you were attacked by a zombie who misunderstood, I don't know. But, yeah. Eating ass is for everybody. That was the name of the article.
That's the name of this podcast episode. Eating ass is for everybody.
I'm like, that's literally like, got it. Can you also put a warning telling Esri to just skip this entire episode, please?
Eating ass is for everybody, not you, Esri.
Except you, Esri.
You're a baby.
Baby Deadling, go sit down. Let's see. Megan says character driven, exclamation point. If you follow a character through a story, they will always act logically according to their thought patterns. But if the story is plot-driven, characters will often be forced to act in ways that don't make sense. That is so fucking true.
Actually, yeah, that's a really good way of putting
That's
it.
a great point, because I have literally, like, just noped out of books and shows when somebody does something that is so blatantly out of character, and you can tell that it was just to move a fucking plot point along. Perfect example. Let's go back to fucking Ryan Murphy. In Glee, in season 3... Season 3? Season 4? Season 4.
Episode 1, 20 minutes in. No.
I can fucking do it. Don't test me. I've seen every episode of Glee at least 50 times. Out of nowhere, he cheats on his boyfriend. And this is like, it would never happen. Not in a million years would he ever have cheated on Kurt. But to fucking move the plot along and just to like, oh, everybody's too happy, gotta fucking mix things up. He makes it so he cheats on him in like the sleaziest fucking way too. And it's just like, there was no fucking point. There was no point to it. Like, you could have had a million other ideas as to why things didn't work. But cheating was so blatantly out of character that I was just like, fuck you, Ryan. Like, seriously. You didn't have to go there. You just didn't. It was completely unnecessary, and it didn't make any sense. And the two main couples broke up on the same episode. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid.
It's cheesy, and it's dumb, and I mean, not that fucking Glee was, like, highbrow, but, like, you know, it's just, it was unnecessary, and it was, like, my mindless show, like, my show that I just watched to just, like, disconnect and not care about shit. And then I was like, oh, thanks for ruining, like, the one good thing about the show. Like, that's, you know, makes you kind of, like, anchored to it. And then it just set off, like, 2 more seasons or 3 more seasons of just fucking will they, won't they, garbage. Are they together? Are they not? And then they plot jump. Like, they fucking time jumped 5 fucking years. I'm saying, it's a hot mess. And that's the kind of shit that she's talking about. Like, just completely out of character. Just because we're like, oh, we're out of ideas. Let's have somebody cheat. Or let's have somebody die. Or let's have somebody make a decision that they never would have made in the fucking first 4 seasons. But now I need them to make this weird decision. Or let's not talk about an issue that any single person in the world would have just turned to the other person and been like, why the fuck did you do that? That was a fucking stupid thing to do. Instead, they're just like, no. If you don't know it's wrong, I'm not going to tell you. And then fucking 6 seasons of, like, fucking bullshit.
Did it just open their fucking mouth?
Yeah, because, and it's not like there are some things I'm sure people just keep quiet, but it's something that's so blatant that could have been fixed with a single fucking question that it's absurd that nobody asked it. That kind of stuff. So, good point.
What were you going to say, Curtains?
Yes, Curtains.
I was going to say that's why when I'm going through your books the first time, and then when Megan and I get together and go through your books for editing purposes, it's fair that Megan brought that up because she's an editor.
I was going to say, she's talking about Zach. She says right here, I mean you, Zach, right now.
No, but when we're going through your books, and I come to you, and I go, no, this has to change, this character wouldn't do this. I do that not frequently, every so often. I feel like a character does something that's like way out of the character's realm, and then you and I argue about it for 20 minutes and I win.
But I do the same thing though, like, because I'll be like, I really want this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really want this to happen, but I'm like, there's no way that they would do that, and I'm just cheating at this point.
Right.
You know, like in Misery, where she flips out because the girl got out of the car. She never got out of the cock-a-doodie car. You know, like when she flips out. Yeah, because it's fucking cheating. It's not fair. You don't get to cheat like that. You have to fucking go back and you have to just figure it out.
Sometimes it's hard and you gotta make it through. You can't cheat your way out. You
just can't. And it's just, it's fucking sucks. It's hard. Being a writer is hard. You just don't understand.
Deal with it.
Okay. And then Rebecca says.
Rebecca says.
All of a sudden I'm fucking, I don't know, Australian.
Or New Zealand.
Or New Zealand. I like both. I think I tend to lean more towards character-driven stories, though. If I connect with a well-written character, I will love them for life and buy their future books if it's a series, without even reading a blurb or synopsis. Word. Very true. And that's what our fucking people have to say about that.
Alright, well, Martina, unless you have any parting thoughts, why don't you drop some social media on folks?
We got facebook.com/booksandbullshitpodcast. We got instagram.com/booksandbs podcast. And, hope I don't fuck this up, twitter.com/booksbullshitp1. Yeah, booksbullshitp1. Twitter.com booksbullshitp1. Yes, right? Layla, did I get it right? Okie dokie.
Yay! Alright, guys. Well, once again, go check out our Patreon because we got some new shit on it. And otherwise, I'm going to catch y'all later at the next episode.
Peace.
Later.